Hi, I'm Doug Grove, one of the authors of Multidimensional Education, a common sense approach to data-driven thinking. And we're at that point in the chapter on climate where we're going to take a look at the 7 steps, and specifically a school that went through these 7 steps and the results that they obtained. If you remember back to the chapter on curriculum and also the chapter on community, these 7 steps are the same. Step 1 is to ask the right questions. Step 2 is where we collect and organize our data. Step 3 is where we discuss and reflect on the data. Step 4 is where we take that discussion, we build it into some goal setting and some target planning. Step 5 is where we roll our sleeves up and we get dirty and we start implementing that plan and implementing those goals. We work that plan. Step 6, we come back, we monitor, we fine-tune some things about that plan that might need some fine-tuning. And then step 7 is where we evaluate and we communicate the results after we've worked that plan and we see what the outcome is of some of those goals and some of those things that we've put into place. So let me direct your attention just real quickly to page 193, where we have the kind of setup for the school that we're going to discuss using these 7 steps related to school climate. Question 1 that they asked was, do I see positive relationships and a sense of connectedness and belongingness among the stakeholders within my school? Question 2 for them was, can I document consistent rules, procedures, and routines that are followed and supported by a great majority of the school stakeholders? And question 3 for them was, is this a clean, safe, and supportive environment that is conducive to teaching and learning? Those were the 3 questions that they used to set up their structure to move through the next two step, 3-step, 4-step, 5-step, 6-step, and the final step. So when they finally looked at those questions, they began to collect the data that they needed. One thing that this school had in place is they were already working with positive school-wide behavior support. And they had data from that allowed them to begin to look at some of those things related to school climate already. The second thing they did is they did the walkthroughs. The building level team provided the faculty with the walkthrough information, gave them a little bit of an overview of what they wanted them to do with it, and everyone went out and collected that information. That information then came back to the building level team. They produced a report, and what they did in this structure is they produced a report, sent that out to the grade level teams, and actually had the grade level teams work on looking at that data and analyzing that data within the grade level team. When step 3 came around, the discussion and the reflection on the data, each grade level team had to come to that meeting and actually give a 10 or 15 minute presentation about the data they looked at, about the positive support data and also about the walkthrough data. This was an interesting way to do it. It's different from the last 2 schools that we've talked about in how they used the data. They actually had the grade level team look at the data first and then come back to the entire faculty and report out. Once they reported out, they went into step 4. For step 4, the setting of the goals and the target planning, the building level team took that information that was presented by the grade level team and came up with a plan. And they also took another faculty meeting to come back and explain and share that plan with the faculty and explain to the faculty that this is the information that you provided us. Now here's the plan related to that information, and also a chance to build buy-in around that plan. Fortunately for them, they had good buy-in, and everybody was on plan. So step 5 was then to begin implementing that plan. And this plan took on a great life of its own. They had the building level team working on the plan, but also you had the grade level teams already committed to working on the plan because they had looked at the data and they had had a chance to come and share some of their concerns. When it got to step 6, the monitoring and fine-tuning of the plan, specifically in this school, the assistant principals were tasked with being the monitors and collecting the data to monitor that plan. Also, one thing that they built into this was throughout the year they had 2 faculty meetings specifically just to discuss the plan and just to discuss how they were moving forward on the plan at the grade level teams and how their efforts towards improving school climate were either coming to fruition or what were some of the difficulties that they had. So they had plenty of time for conversation and reflection around the implementation of the plan. When this group got to step 7, they again did the walkthroughs at the end of the school year. They had positive behavior support data to collect again. And based on what they had implemented, they showed that they had made improvements based on that plan. Things had gotten better in reflection of the data from the walkthroughs, and also the positive behavior support data had also gone up. One thing that was interesting about this school too, though, is they weren't done there. From the new data they collected at the end of the first plan, they realized that there were some other things that they could plan and begin to work on for the next year. And so that they decided that this was a really good process of actually shared leadership in getting the grade level teams to buy in and be a part of the data analysis, and then bringing that back to the full faculty and working on the plan together. So that's an example of how a school went through the 7 steps, how they targeted some areas for improvement on school climate, and how, in this case, they were actually successful in meeting many of those goals and seeing the improvement take place.